Sure.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken, and I am the Director of Solutions Management at Vigorate here. All that means is all the Salesforce developers roll up to me. That includes Datorama, or formerly known as Datorama, and Marketing Cloud, IS, and CDP as well, and also Pardon. Okay, so nice to meet everyone. What I am going to do today is I'm going to go through, first of all, I'm going to go through a high level agenda of what I'll be talking about, and then I'll be sharing my screen here. Give me 1 second. Looks like I am, right? Everyone can see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I'll be doing a little bit of screen share, showing you guys exactly what's inside Datorama, and hopefully we can come up with a couple of examples as well. Okay. So for today, I know that we have a lot of people that either don't have Marketing Cloud or are interested in Marketing Cloud, sorry, not Marketing Cloud, Datorama or Marketing Intelligence. And you had apologies here. They've recently changed Datorama's name to Salesforce Marketing Intelligence. So sometimes I still refer it as Datorama. They're two of the same things here. Okay. So I'll be going through a high level overview of what Marketing Intelligence is, okay, what it's used for, and what it's not meant to do. Doesn't mean it can't do it, right? And then I'll go through what Vigorate does as a standard implementation, so everyone that's interested in Datorama knows what to expect, the flow of what you guys need to get ready, and I'll do a little bit deeper dive into each section, so therefore you guys can see this firsthand. And afterwards, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. Okay. At any time, if you have questions, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback. Okay. Anytime you guys have questions, feel free to stop me. All right. But I am going to go ahead and get started here. Okay. Marketing intelligence. Most of you, or some of you, already know what this is. I'm going to explain what we do with our clients. 90% of our clients use it for pretty much the same thing. It is for the dashboards. Like I said, doesn't mean they can't do more. So as an example here, I'm going to show you, sorry, give me 5 minutes to do a little bit of salesy thing here. This is what Salesforce provides. This is what they show you what it can do. Okay. It's a way to collect all your data from multiple sources, combine it, and display it all at once. Okay. Yes, it is. All this data is available in your external platforms. Most likely you can extract it and do these reports. But what Datorama allows you to do with the dashboards is combine it for you. So therefore you don't have to run these analytics yourselves, right? Produce these graphs. And if you're, for example, you need another report, another graph that's not presently on the dashboard, it is very easy for you to build one, right? And allows you to do a little bit of drill down as well. So for example here, at the very top, very quick, you got your total spends, total revenue, ROI. That's overall for the entire year up to date. So from January 1st to January 15th. All right. Then it allows you to do a little bit of drill down and select the graphs that you want and which KPIs you want to measure. So as you notice, if I select ROI, my graphs are now converted into ROIs, right? Spend, you want to see it based on drill down on spend, go ahead and do that. Okay. And I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of these modules. You can have, if your data allows it, obviously, you can base it on geographic location as well. Right now, this is United States, but they have a world map as well. You get targeted down to Canada, Ottawa specific down to individual cities, right? If you like, but this is generally how it looks. It's more of a heat map. All right, same thing here. You could change your heat map based on revenue, spend, or ROI. Okay. Now, what Datorama is not meant for is to be acted as a CDP. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because there has been several clients of ours that has requested this. They want to see individual users, how they go from an ad spend and the path that they take down to being a customer. Okay, so there is no individual tracking here. Datorama is meant for more aggregate level data, if you want to call it, with the possibility of breaking it down further. So as you see aggregate data, you want to break it down? Sure, you could break it down per month if you like, with a nice graph. And you want to break it down per, I think this is states. Yep. You want to base it based on the region? You can. Okay. Any questions around that, first of all? No? Okay. Next, I want to talk about
just
what we call
anybody
this.
CDP.
Hey, just a second, there is a question.
Yeah, okay. Just want to clarify that everybody knows what CPD was.
CDP?
CDP, yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm used to using a lot of general abbreviation. CDP is Customer Data Platform. It's a 360 view of your customers. Okay.
Keep going, Kenneth.
All right. So next, standard implementation. The purpose of this is for you guys to understand, if we were to set one up, what the steps would look like and why it's important to follow these steps. Okay. Most of our clients do purchase Datorama by seeing these nice fancy little charts, right? By seeing all this, what is possible. But what they don't realize is this is only possible if your data allows Datorama to be drilled down in that specific format. Okay. So as the first step, we always run pre-discovery. What pre-discovery means is, what are you trying to achieve from Datorama? So as you see in Datorama, there's multiple dashboards that you can go with. These are just standard ones that we present, right? But you can customize it if you like, right? What data sources you're trying to bring in, what you're trying to achieve. So in this here, we're trying to obviously measure spend compared to revenue, compared to ROI breakdown, but you can break it down based on impressions, spend, email metrics, right? Okay. So during pre-discovery, we take a look at your data, we analyze it to say, this is what you have, what is it that you want, and then we talk about what needs to be done to get you to that point of what you need and what you want in the future. Okay. Once we do that, we come up with a list of rules, and that is going to be covered in the harmonization part that I do later on. But the next step is to plan and architect. Plan and architect really means, okay, we know what you want. How do we get you there? And this is how we're going to build in Datorama, because I know, for example, you're going to be bringing in Facebook data later on. I'm going to set you up for that. Okay, for a little bit of future planning. The third step is going to be data ingestion. Once we know all the data that you want to bring into Datorama, we're going to connect them all. We're going to have you confirm that all the data that you want is in Datorama and everything looks great. There's no issue with the data component of bringing it into Datorama. Okay, and that is very important because the next few steps rely on it. If the data coming in from external sources are not correct, or we're missing data, we won't be able to do harmonization or visualize it. So as an example, we didn't bring in clicks. Obviously, when we do your visualizations of your dashboards, we can't show clicks. Okay? If that is missed, then we have to take it back to the data ingestion part, and which costs time. Okay. Next is going to be harmonization. I will explain harmonization afterwards, but is how all your data connects with each other. All right. So as an example here, right now, Korea was nice enough for us to kind of mock up or reuse their dashboards with fake data, but I'm going to quickly show you what harmonization actually means here. This is the biggest use case of it, and it's going to be a second. So Korea targets their audience based on groups. They have the product and audience and campaign objective. What this allows us to do during harmonization is to tag each one of them, right? So for example, this is all dummy data, so sorry. This is just, I think this is coming from a random metric. Notice that if I select a specific Korea group, all my metrics would be changed. Now everything is only showing for this one Korea group. So as an example, the top browser visits for this Korea group is going to be Yeah browser, UC browser, Sony Ericsson, SeaMonkey, Samsung, etc. Okay. As you see, if I select another product and audience, it's probably going to show me no data. It allows you to filter down individual levels. Okay. So harmonization allows us to do that. And the last step is the visualizations, what you're seeing here. How do you want your data to be visualized in your dashboards? And the last step will be the go live and the training. So you can create these dashboards yourself. Any questions about the steps for standing up Datorama or marketing intelligence? No? Okay. So I'm going to go quickly. I'm going to go into a little bit deeper dive into each of these sections. So plan and discovery, you guys seen this mockup already. What we normally do is create these mockups, and this is just a quick mockup. This is what you're going to get. Okay, you're going to get sends up here. You're going to get deliveries up here. You can have the data filter that allows you to filter the date range that you want. So as example, I want to see August of 2022. Apply. Okay. You're going to get a pie chart that shows you the top career groups based on the click rate. You're going to see the top product audience based on the click rates, right? And you're going to get tables. Give me 1 second here. And the abilities to filter by either group. So you could do it by week, or you can do it by month, quarterly, doesn't matter, day, yearly, etc. Okay, and you're allowed to select which metrics you want, because we do realize not all these metrics are going to be applicable every time you look at these dashboards. And the same thing here, down here, that controls the graph as well. Okay. Now into data ingestions. This is where the connect and mix comes in. This is pretty much where all your data lives, where you connect to external sources, where you set up the harmonization centers, your dimensions, your calculated dimensions, your calculated measurements. So Datorama always splits your data into 3 buckets. One is called the dimensions, the other is called measurements, and the last one is what they call the date field. So the difference between a dimension and a measurement is whether it's qualitative or quantitative data. So qualitative data is essentially like your email names, your campaign names, anything with any non-KPI metrics. Okay, a measurement is the opposite, which is your KPI. So if you look at your measurement list, you could create more if you like, but these are just the standard ones. For emails or messaging, you get your click-through rates, click-through open rates, your message bounce rates, and total sends, total clicks, etc. And then for web analytics, you have your daily visitors.
Source.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, my computer ran out of power.
Okay, sorry. Which part did you drop off on?
5 minutes ago.
Okay, so
Don't worry about it. It's
okay.
We're hoping the recording works. If not, we'll invite you next month or the following month.
Okay, let me just restart from this topic here, the dimension and measurements here. Okay, because this is very crucial for Datorama. Datorama, when you ingest data, it always categorizes, you're asked to categorize them into 3 buckets. One of them is called the dimensions, the other one is called the measurement, and the last one is a special bucket, and they call it just the date field. Okay, now the difference between a dimension and measurement is qualitative versus quantitative data. Right, so as a quantitative data, those are your KPIs. So anything that's measurable, those are called measurements. Your clicks, opens, right? Your audience, daily visitors, page exits, page views, anything that you can sum up, average, or anything like that.
Okay. No, the one that says unknown.
Okay. And dimension list is pretty much your email names, your campaign names, anything that's not qualitative. Sorry, quantitative. Okay, so you see region, right? For anyone that knows Marketing Cloud, you got your journey information, your email information, and web analytics site, key URL, medium source, etc. Any questions around the dimensions or the measurements list?
I think the action center's on PC.
No.
What's that?
Let's move on to data stream list.
Sorry.
So
Is up action center.
in Connect and Mix, you have the ability to connect new data sources. All right, I'm just going to quickly go over, show you the list, and it's a very large list here. So, and there's default connectors for this. Don't worry about the non-default. I'll show you an example of it afterwards. All right, I'm going to go through the main ones here. You got your Facebook ads, custom Facebook ads, your Facebook page insights that allows you to measure the total followers, number of posts, right? And you can measure your competitors as well, if you like. All right, but obviously you're not going to get as much information than your own page insight. So you can see how many followers they have. You can see how many posts they're doing, etc. You got your Google Analytics and all your Salesforce platforms. Okay, Marketing Cloud, Advertising Studio. There's a Sales Cloud, Social Studio, Pardot, and there's a Sales Cloud in here somewhere. E-commerce Cloud. Okay, so these are a list of the default vendors that you can connect to. In case it's not on the list, they provide something called a Total Connect. Okay, and I'm going to quickly show you this. I have a sample file ready. So this is ingesting data files. Okay, so I made it simple CSV file. I'm going to upload it. This is all that's inside my data file. I have 5 columns: date, name 1, name 2, metric 1, metric 2, just 1 line. Now, in here, you have the ability to email this into Datorama ongoing basis if you like. You have the ability to drop it onto SFTP or just regular FTP. Okay, so as long as the external platforms can email this data as an attachment or can drop it onto an FTP or FTP, you can ingest this manually. Automatically. Okay. Next cool thing is the settings in here. If you're doing a Total Connect file, they give you the ability to transform this file. Okay, what that means is you can tell it exactly which format you want the file is going to come into, or you can have it automatically detect. Normally, it's always auto detect unless you want it to be an Excel file for whatever reason. Okay, it's a limitation. If it's not, you have the ability to change the data rows when it starts. So table starts, for example, I know that in Marketing Cloud, they generate reports where the first 5 lines are more summary lines. You can have it start at row 6, ignoring the first 5 lines. Okay, or you can do it by expression as well. So not by row numbers, but look for specific lines, start afterwards. Okay, and when it ends, right? So you have the ability to, if your data file contains a total row, right? You can exclude that if you like. There's actually an option for that, which is over here, right? And the ability to say file header or merge them if you have multiple headers in your file, you can do that as well. You could transpose it, you could pivot it, you could do whatever you want with the file, encryption, etc. Okay, so that is a Total Connect file. Next screen is going to be the exact same for whether it's a default or a Total Connect file, is your data mapping. Okay, so on your left, mapped, unmapped, everything's unmapped right now. You have your file, or if it's a default connector, they'll list out the names for you. And on the right, you have your Datorama metrics or fields to map it to. So first things first, you specify which bucket it belongs to. If it is an ad, if this is an ad file, right, coming from Facebook ads, you might want to map it to your ads bucket, right? Because it has all the appropriate fields for you. So for example, here, you have your media by key, right? And you have your measurements for that as well, right? Impressions, clicks, media costs, website clicks, etc. But if you change this to, let's pretend this is a email file, whether it's coming from MailChimp, Salesforce, Marketing Cloud, doesn't matter, messaging. Here we go. It changes the dimensions for you and the measurements that you can map to. So in here, now we have your sends, your clicks, your opens, your forwards, your total clicks, your opt-ins, your opt-outs, bounce rates, and everything. And you can have custom ones as well. okay, is as simple as click and drag. So metric 1 maps to, this little box here means dimension, by the way, so it's easier way instead of showing the whole list. I'm going to say that metric 1 is actually my email name. So what I'm going to do is call it message name. That maps to message name. It allows you to apply a formula if you want, right? I'm going to show you this example afterwards. I'm just going to apply. Now it's mapped. And oh, that was actually metric. Sorry, mapped the wrong one. Metric 2, I'm going to say this is actually my send. Actually, I'm going to do clicks. When it opens, just for my next example here. This is my there it is. This is my total opens. Now, what the formula editor allows you to do is change this metric before it gets ingested. And here's a real life example of it. We had a client who was an agency, and they always actually, you know what? For total opens, we know that there is an Apple issue right now. Let's say you determine that 10, give or take 3% of your opens are false open rates from the new message, from the new Apple launch, or from the new Apple bug out there, right? So what you can do is minus 0.03%. So when it gets ingested, it automatically adjusts that rate for you. Okay. There are a number of functions in here. I'm not going to go through them all, but for example, number of functions, you could round a number, you could randomize, you could do an absolute, right? You can convert it into certain things, right? Logistical, you can do if statements you like. So as an example here, I'm going to do an if. This also takes JavaScript for anyone that knows JavaScript, or you can use the default method of Datorama logic here. So this is theirs. If the condition metric true is less than 0, if that's true, I want to set this value to 0 instead of having a negative number. If it's false, I'm going to take the value as it is. Simple as that, right? For those using JavaScript, same thing. That's exactly the same thing as if CSV is greater than 0, then it's going to be return 0. Otherwise, return the metric itself. Okay. Any questions around that? Nope. Give me 1 second.
I can ask a stupid question, perhaps. When you put in a reference to the 3% adjustment based on a bug, is that looked like it was going to be there, but like what's happens when the bug's over? Just curious.
Yes, so this function here actually gets calculated upon data ingestion. What I don't recommend using this. I recommend using your calculated measurements instead, which I will show you afterwards. Okay, so the main difference is the calculated measurements gets calculated as it gets displayed onto your dashboard. Okay, while this gets calculated upon ingestion. And the problem with that, I wouldn't say that it's a problem. It's one of the pros and cons in any other platform. There's multiple ways of doing things. The problem with this is if you ever need to adjust something, great. Yes, you can. I'm just going to go. Everything else I want to show you is outside of here already. If you ever wanted to adjust that, yes, you can edit the data stream and change that to, let's say, 2% instead. However, that only applies for new data coming in, which means you need to highlight this, go to the execution history, and rerun the dates that you want this for. So let's pretend the bug was over on January 10th. Okay. What I need to do now is I need to modify the data stream. So therefore it does a 1% calculation instead. select all 4, and rerun it all. Okay, this will take all the data that was ingested in that file, rerun it through the data stream, essentially take the same file and reprocess it. Except now it's going to have the new calculations. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right. That's data mapping. Really, it's just which bucket you want to go into. So let me quickly show you the list of buckets that we have in Datorama. This one doesn't allow me to change it. Sorry, give me a second. I need to go back to my data stream. But I'll show you that afterwards. I am going to go on to the next screen here. Okay. Last screen is going to be your automated data refreshes, right? So for the default connectors, they're always going to set up for daily. You can change it if you like. Okay. And you can set a specific time if you like. All right. Data stream attributes. So as an example, if this is going to apply for the entire data stream. So what data stream am I in? This is in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Okay, let's pretend that you have multiple Facebook accounts. Okay, and you want to categorize them in different ways. Yes, you can do base it on the ID, or you could give a data stream attribute, call it Facebook main page for one of your data stream. The other one can be your secondary page, for example. That way, Datorama now knows there's 2 different pages. You can filter off that if you like, right? You could do your segmentation off that custom attribute if you like. So this is going to apply for every data role that's going to be ingested into Datorama. Okay. Load mode. Okay, this is important. Now, there's always help for these kind of stuff. There's always a little help desk. So replace, it's a very misleading word. All that means is that whatever data that I have now coming in is the most up-to-date data. Okay, so if it's currently inside the system, replace everything that I'm giving you now with what I'm giving you. With what is inside the system. This only replaces it for those specific dates. So as an example, of my data file, if right now I have it as replaced, and my data file comes in for yesterday's data, the 15th. Okay. It's not going to override everything. It's only going to override the data for the 15th because you're telling me it's for the 15th only. Okay, so we're replacing that 1 day's worth of data if you provide it. Right? Upsert means it's kind of it's a little bit self-explanatory for those developers out there. It's the SQL statement, upsert. So if data doesn't exist, add it. If it does, update it. Okay, it's based on the keys. So I will explain the keys afterwards. Incremental. Now this is getting a little bit dangerous. I've only ever used this once because it can affect your future reprocessing. What this means is I'm going to give you new measurements added on to whatever you currently have. So if yesterday I added 10 clicks, today I added 20, now Datorama is going to show 30 because I told it to add it on to the existing 10 clicks. Okay. Total replace, it gives you a warning as you see once I clicked it, takes everything in your data stream right now, replace it with your file. So it's a full master replace. So these two, the main difference between these two, replace and total replace, is this only replace it for that 1 date if you give it those values. This one wipes everything out and loads a new data file. Okay. Any questions around these load modes? Okay. Next, data load rules. With Datorama, you have the ability to specify if you want to exclude certain rows or only include certain ones. So let me think of this as an example. A vendor of yours can only get you a full data file for all your campaigns. Okay. Now you don't want all your campaigns. You only want individual campaigns. So what you can tell Datorama to do is only include the rules if it matches a specific campaign name. Or you can tell it to exclude, or you can do delete specific measurements if a criteria is met. Okay. Why that is because that is your row counts. Most people only have 3 million rows for Datorama. That's a basic package, right? Right now we're working with 20, so that's not really an issue. But the more data that you bring in, the higher your counts are. The higher the counts are, you will get charged for it, just like any other Salesforce platform, like Marketing Cloud. They charge you by contact counts. You want to keep your contacts low if you're not using it. Same thing as Datorama. You want to keep your data row usage low if you're not using the data. Okay. That way, if you start bringing in, let's pretend every year you bring in 1 million rows, right? Half of it's useless. Well, you don't plan on using it. That means either your Datorama can last you 6 years worth of data for analysis or just 3. Okay. I'm going to skip through some of this stuff here just to get through all our topics. As of sometime this weekend, or maybe this morning, they introduced this. This is a brand new, it's not a feature, it's a very nice to have. What I note and why I'm excited about this is you're gonna understand why. Most of our clients always go over the data row usage. This gives once you click on this, the people who use the connect and mix tab are your admins. Once they enter their connect and mix tab, they will automatically see the row usage. If it's getting up there, then maybe it's time to clear out some data or to purchase new row usage. Why? If you go over your row usage counts, Datorama would stop processing your data streams. Now, your end users are not going to know that something's wrong with the data because they only see the visualization. They don't see this connect and mix tab. They don't see that today's data did not get processed. So they might be reporting false KPIs or graphs because of outdated data. This allows you to keep an eye out on it, okay? And these are magnificent because for a lot of our clients here, their data stream list is over 50 data streams. If you go over 50 data streams, well, good luck trying to go one by one to see when the last run date was, if everything was successful, right? When was the last time this ingested, and when was the last time it failed? This gives you clarity. Once it loads again, 3 out of 3, perfect, right? The 3 data streams I have, always 100% in success rates. And this is the time that it runs. So when someone asks you, hey, I don't see data for today. Has Datorama loaded it? Well, this graph would tell you when the last process was run. So in this instance here, I wouldn't expect today's data until 9 a.m. Okay, because all my process runs at 6 and 8 o'clock. Okay. Next is going to be harmonization. I'm going to start off with the patterns here. In Datorama, let me go back to my dashboard here. You see these filters: create group, product audiences, campaign objective. These are very specific to Korea, right? And what most clients do, and this is something to think about, is that they have naming conventions, either in Marketing Cloud, their ad platforms, or for example, Google Analytics, stuff like that, okay? What's great about this is I'm going to set an example here. Let me think of a big retailer here because everyone knows retailers, I hope. All right, let's think Walmart, for example, here. Walmart has different departments and has different, product codes. So they might advertise on Facebook for you know, all the black shoes are on sale. Just as an example here, they might come up with a naming convention for the campaign as, give me a second here, BLK underscore spring underscore 2023. I'm gonna do winter. Black Friday sale. Black Friday shoe, for example. Okay. While their emails might just advertise, for example, I'm going to do winter 2022. I'm going to do Black Friday shoes as an example, because they don't target only black shoes in Marketing Cloud, but they target only black ones in Facebook ads. Okay. With these naming conventions, I, at least from a human eye, I know that this is for black shoes, black shoes, right? And I know this one's for winter 2022, Black Friday, and it's for the shoe category. And if they do the next one, let's pretend, I don't know if this is true or not. They could have Black Friday. The next department is appliances, for example. Well, the last position of this is always going to be the department. That is how that is how our dashboard is able to determine these filters, right? So if this was, for example, shoes, if I click on it, it's only going to show me the shoes category, and how it knows that is based on these patterns. Okay, how we set this up, quite simple. Give it a name, that's pattern. You're going to search your dimension. I am going to do email name for now. Okay, well, that's email. No, sender. Message, sender name. Sending, there you go. Okay. So I'm going to take this one as an example here. Right, it's going to build out my pattern for me. You can change it if you like. As an example, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to say the first one is going to be my year. The second one is my month, and I'm going to add a new position to it. Last one is going to be a second here. I'm going to make up a name. I'm going to do campaign code. Okay, notice that I didn't extract this one. It's not going to extract it. By doing this, quickly show you campaign code. Done. Give me a second to build it all out. Now in my dashboard, actually, I would do a filter. Discard. Add a filter. And I want to filter this based on my campaign code. My fingers are not working with me today. Copy that. Sorry, just refreshing my page. Now I can use that as a filter. I can use it as a dimension. I can display it on the graphs based on campaign code, right? There's no data in it, sorry. right? So if we did this for every data stream, if you have it for every data stream, it allows you to filter and use that as a measurement. So it's just extracting information based on a pattern of either a campaign name, an email name, doesn't matter. Okay, and allows you to add filter as well. So for example, this only applies for these two data sources. Actually, well, this is email names, probably only this one, marketing cloud. It's only going to apply that pattern for that one data stream. Okay. Any questions around the filters right now? No, just to quickly go over one other thing, because I know that we're running low on time. Data classification. Now, most of the agencies or the companies themselves abbreviate based on the campaign names. So as you see here, I did BLK. BLK to me, I know it's black, right? But to if you want a more pretty version of a name, so example, BF, I know it stands for Black Friday. They have something in here called data classification files. What this allows you to do is do a little bit of manual mapping. So I am going to create a new classification file. And I am going to say column 1, BLK, that's my code. That is the short form for black. Okay. What this does is, let me see if I can find a good example here. In your graphs and in your measurements, if you see stuff like, let me just search for it. Oops. FR. Right. It could change. The data would come in as French or FR, but you can display it as the full word French. Just like how if it's Black Friday, you can display it as Black Friday. If it's BLK, it can display it as black. That is a very simple way of doing that, and it allows users to modify this very quickly, right? If you add new codes, great. I'm going to do WHT, that stands for white. No coding whatsoever, save the changes, Datorama will automatically take it all into consideration after that. Okay. And really quickly, I just want to show you how you build your own dashboards, just to show you how easy it is. Once that's all done, everything's connected, all your harmonization is done. It's as simple as building your dashboard. Now, your end user, anyone with a editor role or admin role can do this, just not viewers, right? Quickly go into test, categorize it. This is more like a folder right now called test. I'm gonna add new dashboard. Let me start off with a blank dashboard here. Okay, edit. Most of the stuff is drag and drop. This little button, add a new widget. Okay, as an example, I do not have an image, but add new image. You choose your image, you can upload it. You could, I'm just gonna choose a random one right now. These are just the default ones. All right, you can make it auto fit or scale it, whatever you like. Okay, and if you have a link, left align, right align, auto fit image, there you go. Okay, design, this is going to be the same thing for everything, right? Hide in view mode, usually if you're putting a module in there, I don't know why you want to hide it to begin with in view mode. Okay, you can have a sticky, float, background, and for those that know CSS, custom CSS. And you can write your own CSS classes in here. But for those who don't, specify the header, the font, right? The background image if you want one, background fill, radius, all that fun jazz to make it all look pretty. But onto data part of it. So that's just like your header stuff like that. So if you want example, I want a date filter in there for our users to select which date range they want. Done. Okay, there's settings in here. Wait 1 second. You could choose a date format, the period name. So, or you want the first day of the period. It's only going to show December 15th, right? Last date, or the date range. Okay, you can change the name of this if you like, if you hide it if you like, doesn't really matter, right? And just quickly show you a list of graphs. I know there's not much option in here. There's more options once you click into it. So if I want bar graph, add your data. As simple as, all right, I want to show the day and I want to show, let's do my clicks per day. There's your bar graph, clicks per day. You want it per week? Do it per week instead. Okay, and same thing here. All these options are editable. You want a period name, date range, because I don't know what week 50 is, to be honest with you guys. I know the December 12th to December 18th. 2,481 clicks, right? You apply specific filters if you like. So I only want, example, list of campaign code is a list of, I only care about all my global ones. So I'm just going to search global because I see it in here. Spell it wrong. Zero. Okay, but you can select whichever ones you want to see all the metrics. Select all, none, and you can apply more filters. Add a specific condition and has to, or you could add more filters to it later on as well. So as an example here, for the marketers out there, I only want a list of the 2021 insights journey. There you go. Looks like for this week, I have one click, the other weeks I do not. Quite straightforward. Lastly, more, you could change horizontal graph, right? Stacked allows you to choose multiple measurements. So let's do opens now as well. Just as an example. Clicks, total opens, 5 opens, 1 click. Now, there's not much data in here, sorry. It's supposed to look prettier. And you can change how the name is here as well. So you don't want this to be message total clicks, change the name, just change this to clicks. And you can change the color of these as well. Okay. And you can have goals as well. I don't think there's any goals set up in here. You can set specific goals for you. So therefore you get a little nice radar chart or goal chart. Second here, analyze and act. Set up a new goal here really quickly. I'm going to call it open rate goal. It's ready to select this, click, I'll do click. Which measurement? I want to base it on the click rates. Okay. Measurement type is summable, it's addable, that's fine. It has to be exactly at most or at least, in this case, at least. I am going to do entire period. Entire goal has to be click rate. I'll do 5%. Okay. Once I hit done here, second, let's see if I can add that goal in here now.
And we're running out of time.
Okay.
Can you wrap up in 1 minute?
Yep. So all this really does is gets you a graph that looks like, let me see if I can find one here. No, there's none in these. But as you see these charts here, is a little radar. You're underperforming, you're on par, you hit your goal, right, etc. Okay, and absolute last, that's widget level. It allows you to do page level filters as well. Right, so under filters, The entire page can be filtered off the entire thing instead of individual modules. And these modules can, right off the bat, is going to be applied to everything. So this date is going to apply to every widget in here. If you don't want it to apply to every widget, apply to specific widgets. I only want it to be applied for this horizontal graph. You can do that if you like. Okay. Any questions around that? No.
No. So do you have anything else that you needed to go through, Ken?
I was just going to go through a list of these here as well. So like I said, you got your pie charts, your line graphs, you got your tables, which you can change it to a pivot table if you like as well. Heat map, there's a lot of options in here. Okay, you got your charts, your bubbles, and I think I showed you guys where's the map? Here's the map. Okay. You can have the world, you can have Africa, specific continents, right? And everything in here is searchable. So if I want Canada. Okay, and you just list your measurements. What you want base the map to be. I'm just going to keep doing clicks. Right now, I don't have anything mapped to the country, so therefore it doesn't have any data for me to show. Okay.
That's great. Anybody else have any questions for Ken? No? Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap up by one extra minute here. So as I mentioned at the very beginning of the meeting, we have a meeting per month except July and August. So our next meeting will be in February.
22nd.
February, is that your meeting?
Yes, please.
February 22nd. What do you know what the topics are?
It's going to be service clouds with communities, and I was planning to do process builder migration, but with different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Sorry that we had a little technical challenge on this end. I hope that didn't interrupt your flow too much. We appreciate the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks. Stop recording.
Thanks. The presentations have been recorded, so, and we'll be posting them on the community page. So if you wanted to see it, because I know we've missed quite a bit of it.
It's just 5 minutes.